Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body-Culinary, and I'm coming to you today with a quickie style. So, for those of you with fine hair or who may be endeavoring to embark on no products, want light, fluffy hair, or just hair that it can't take a lot of handling and a lot of tension, this is a real quickie style. And if you're interested, stay tuned. All I'm going to be using are these two clips. If your hair is a little bit long, you may not need it. If you're still a loose natural, you can perhaps do a version of this with tucking. So if you're interested, stay tuned. If you're new to this channel, welcome on Body-Culinary, professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman. Love being a natural born woman, and I love a natural lifestyle as close as I can get to it. And on this channel, I love to share my journey of radical self-acceptance. And that's not just hair. That's also with my features, with the process of aging, maturing, becoming seasoned. I say be intentional about embracing it because even with the best care, which I'm very purposeful about, the body is going to age. I'm all with, the smaller breasts. My main concern is that they are growth and tumor free. So on this channel, I also love to encourage 3 lifestyle practices: garden therapy, peaceful consumption, food that loves you back, as well as starting reactivating a personal movement practice. So that's what you're going to find here. So really quick today, I've been looking at some videos, and I actually forgot that I really, really love vintage styles, and I actually really love vintage clothing. I've spent quite many years, spent a lot of money on clothes, and all of those clothes went in the garbage. So I love fashion. However, similar to my hair, it's not a priority for me to spend googads of money on clothing. I like nice things, perhaps if it was a specialty item, but for the most part, it doesn't really come up on my radar. And I actually found, especially where I've traveled to, I find better quality vintage than I do fast fashion. Most of the fast fashion where I'm at, most of it is so horribly made that I bought several pairs of shoes that I barely got to wear. Some I didn't even wear, and they fell apart. So that is a total turn off. I found some, just looking on on an ongoing basis, keeping my eye peeled for stuff, much, 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 much better quality. So it's rare that I will purchase something, maybe if it was a camping gear or something like that, but it's just not a priority like that for me to be wasting resources that I've worked for. Yeah, that's not the move. So with this hair, I rinsed it early this morning, so it's dry, nice and clean, right? And so what I plan to do further along this week is to make some tea, right? One of the tea rinses, I'm going to make some fresh nopales, cactus juice, and I'm going to also make some sage tea, maybe perhaps sage and neem, because those I have out in the yard, as well as aloe. So this is really nice. I've been looking at the vintage styles, and I really like pinups. The pinup updos. However, if you're free-forming, you have, or semi-free-forming, and you have allowed your locks to combine because they're so delicate so that they can have a firmer base. Now I see what some free-formers say where it appears they don't have as many styling options. I would say, I don't know if I would say there aren't as many, but the styling options I would say are different, right? Because you have bigger clumps of hair. So it's bendable and it's soft, but it's a lot thicker. So what I'm simply doing, I'm thinking, which is interesting, we used to wear this style, I call it a mushroom. We used to get our hair pressed, and we used to have it rolled under the, you'd put the little curlers, and then your mom would comb it out, and we called it, I remember calling it a mushroom. And it occurred to me, because I was young then, that is a style that you see frequently with pinup girls, right, from that vintage era. Right, there's several vintage eras. So all I'm doing really just now, and I've tried several different ways. Maybe my hair is still a teeny weeny bit damp because I just rinsed it a couple of hours ago. So what I'm doing is I'm basically tucking, right? So I can get this kind of a style. Now keep in mind, when I try most of the styles that I've seen online on YouTube, because my hair is so fine, they never come out. I don't do a whole bunch of, well, I do trim anything that looks like it's broke down productions or is old hair. Some of the original locks that are really, really skinny, I will trim those, right? They're hanging on by a shoestring, or they're just damaged from too much beads and too much handling. So again, my texture can't it can't take it, right? So all I'm doing is taking this like this. And one of my favorite styles is 2 Afro buns. Some of my colleagues have called it Princess Leia. You look like Princess Leia. I said, maybe Princess Leia looks like me. So what I'm doing simply is I'm just gonna roll and tuck. And so it just got me to thinking this style. It really got me to thinking about some of the unique characteristics of our hair. Our hair, whether it's an Afro or double strand twist, it really occurred to me. Whereas some of our vanilla counterparts, there's hairspray, and we've mimicked a lot of our vanilla counterparts and have used chemical lye, a big lye, no lye relaxes, to mimic the flowing of the hair of Caucasian type straight hair. One of the biggest distinctions in this particular DNA beauty mark is the sculpting. So if it's an Afro, it's sculpted. It grows up this way. Only when it gets to a certain length does it start to fall downwards. But usually we can have even huge Afros. Our hair grows up and out. So I realized with the double strand twists, with the flat twist to the scalp, those were the styles I was good at with fine hair. And even now I'm finding, as my hair has a little bit of length on it, it's really about folding and sculpting, right? So rather than trying to twist my hair into all these other uncomfortable and very tension, even though a lot of these styles say protective styles, and maybe this is just me with very fine, delicate hair. A lot of the styles they say are fine or protective, they take a while to put in. And actually, I found if I really have to go back and think of the comb, even though your hair is protected and rested, a lot of the hair came out when you were taking out the cornrows, when you were taking out the braids. So I get that it's also shed hair, but it's still a lot of loss. So all of these are different styles. So what I like is I can take this. This is just done very quickly. So I don't have a mirror, so I can't really see that great. But I like the fact that I can kind of mold, and my camera shows opposite, right? So I can kind of mold this to look a certain kind of way. So a lot of molding and sculpting and tucking, I find, works for this hair. Now, if you're not moving, this is not like an exercise hairstyle. This is just something I think is a little more like an updo, but it's super, super simple. So if you have any loose piece, you may need to tuck it. And it's comfortable. It's not on my neck. I like it. I like this. This is simple. So this is how I come upon a lot of my styles. I may see a style inspiration and I try it, and it just doesn't work for my hair. So now that my locks are bigger for me, which are not really big because they're all flat, I find that sculpted styles and tuck styles, right, work for this hair. So I could also make it look a little bit different if I tuck it behind my ears, right? But I actually like this style. And if you want it, what I did do today, right? Anything that's low maintenance is I did put 2 pins. I don't use any styling gel. So I did put a little pin right here to quote unquote, just lay down the fluff a little bit because I'm not fighting with the fluff. So I like this style. So this may be as close as I can get right now to kind of a pinup style. And I'm just using the 2 gold pins in the back. So I have a few accessories that don't really pull on the hair and that are really comfortable. Comfort is really important to me. Any kind of discomfort, that's a red flag that I'm about to lose my hairline. And I'm not using the gel and stuff because I just really don't want to. I don't want to do a whole lot of extra. I don't want to put any makeup on today. I did put a little bit of mascara, some shea butter, and that's it. I just want to keep it moving. But this is I like it. It looks very sophisticated, and it makes me kind of think of the pinup girl hairstyles where it's a lot of curling, and folks with different hair texture, they were teasing their hair and doing all kinds of manipulation with rollers to get it to curl under. So I'm not with a whole lot of manipulation. I like to explore what my hair can do on its own, how it can be expressed, and I can be expressive with it without causing any damage to it, and also with being relaxed. Like, it's really something to explore your own unique expression. I find it very relaxing. I find it to be it's very affirming. it's a huge confirmation that you came out here on this 3D plane equipped. So this is the style. Again, I have to tuck it, right? Because I'm doing it over for you. Usually I'll deconstruct the style because I'm simple with the tutorials. But this is it. I think you get the idea of it. It's kind of like a tuck. So maybe I can add a few more pins to it, but I like it. And also I was in here, I got some sprouts that are starting to sprout. So I'm sprouting. I'm making some tahini for my sister and some and also sprouting some alfalfa sprouts. So that's what's going on over in the Afro Flower homestead. So that's my idea for a quickie style today. Let me know what you think. And keep in mind, if my hair was not locked, if I hadn't twisted it, more than likely this would be very loose. Greetings, Carolyn. This would be a really loose double strand twist, and I would pin it the same way. So I found it very easy to fold and tuck it with double strand twists. And I would even say, I invite you ladies to look at some of the older, and I've been really studying and looking at Afro women in the Victorian age. Looking at women in general, the dresses and the styles, it's something in aesthetic that I really, really, really like. I think I like something from all aesthetics. I realize I have always really liked beehives. Anybody let me know beehives, what stage that was? Was that the 60s? That beehive, I think beehives were in the 60s, and I saw a picture of my aunt with a beehive, and I was like, I want that style. So I figured out how to get my hair as close as I could to that style for my junior prom. But I love the aesthetic. I like the poodle skirts of the time. I like swing dance. Yeah, so it's a whole vibe, and I love. Yes, it's the 60s, right? So I love. There is something, and each generation has something to offer, but definitely there's more of. I would say today there's a lot of hypersexuality in the absence of intimacy and respect. So it definitely does not appeal to me. I don't find it beneficial to women. I don't find it beneficial at all to Afro women. I think it kind of lends itself to a mindset of disposability. However, that carriage and there's something about even I was looking at something called the Gilded Age, and there's a Black woman that plays a writer, and the story and the costumes and the hairstyle. I love the hairstyles. When you look at those Black women that were school teachers, they had all kinds of, a lot of them didn't have straightened hair. They would rock what I call kind of Afro puff hair with a loose twist and a lot of rolls and tucks. You know, if you look at those movies I gotta get off there. If I look at the movies of that period, usually our vanilla women, you'll see them taking the brush and stroking their hair, and you might have heard about 100 strokes a night, but our hair would be on the floor. That's not really for carpet, you know. It's not for carpet. And through the ages, we've often mimicked that. We've often sought to mimic them, and it's just not appropriate because it's two different things. So for us, when I look at those women and I look at those pictures, I don't get a regalness. I don't get regal. I don't get something to be. I just don't get an air of something that's cherished. You know, not that we're not worthy of it, but something in our energy and the carriage as a collective in popular culture. It's just not, somehow it's not conveyed through the style, really, and I think it's because, and anyone is welcome to respectfully express their opinion. I think it's because of so much of the easy access. Now, don't get me wrong. We could jump back to our experience in the continent, and we can see many women, you know, folks weren't necessarily jumping on each other and, you know, popping off like rabbits because they saw naked breasts. However, the culture is different. It's a different culture. So I think there's something, if we explore it, we can know the hows and the whys, and that there was social mores and there was a order put in place. A lot of times as Afro people, we like to talk about back in Africa, and I don't think we could really comprehend. It's like people trying to do paleo and overstuffing themselves with meat. That's not in the full context, because rarely did the buffalo come along, and those folks were more fit, and when they got their hands on a piece of meat, they preserved it. So we're totally don't comprehend the context. All that to say, I hope you check out, maybe I'll share some if I can find some, but I love the Victorian age and looking at those older school teachers. Then it was really an esteemed profession to be a teacher, or you look at those women in those first Black colleges, just to see the hairstyles before. And shout out to Madam CJ. But before, our hair was getting fried and over chemically processed and heat damage, right? I thought Madam CJ would have styled somewhat like this, right? And some of her hair was, you know, coming out this way if you've ever had your hair pressed. And you can see heat damage, right? Our hair was getting literally fried. Sometimes you can hear it crackling as the hot comb and the hair grease, the Dixie Peach and Dax hair grease was being pulled through your hair. So I don't know, I'm really loving, and you can see that there are many women on YouTube with really sculpted double strand twists and updos, which I think is lovely. So it's one thing, the hyper exuality, then the sensuality, it's a different vibration. Y'all let me know, what do you see in terms of the elegance? Do you see a combination? Can you let us know, who do you see as a combination of these different expressions of sensuality, sexuality, confidence, regal, the regalness, like it's a carriage. And it wasn't like they, in their facial expression, you know, you didn't constantly see this. This is what I see. I mean, not right or wrong, but this is all you see. It's like, I don't know, it's like a trying too hard. And they didn't actually have they didn't have a bunch of makeup on, those women in those days with all of those sculpted styles. But you let me know what you see. So in any event, this side is already falling out, but you get the idea. This is the side of what it looks like. So this is the Quickie style of the day. I just have the little gold pin. And you need to find another way to tuck it. But if I keep playing with it, which you'll have to do your own experimentation, you'll find what works for you, how often you can rinse it. There's no way around experimenting to see what works for you. So I've got 2 pins, and I love invoking the energy, like channeling the energy of those women that had those tucked Afro puffs. They look so, I don't know, they look very regal, elegant, and a soft sensuality. I didn't get mule. I didn't get mule, and I didn't get desperation, you know. Anyway, let me know what you think. Create a great day on purpose, and give me some feedback. Have you seen any elegant styles from the 40s, the 20s, the 30s? Let me know some of these women that you see that look really, really regal, and I'll be sharing some of my things that I'm finding that look really, really, I just think lovely. Representation matters, right? I can appreciate the geisha. I love looking at the Indian women. I see some beautiful Russian women. So where are we? And before I go, I was just doing some research on FloJo, and I did not know. Did you all know that they made a doll for FloJo back in the days? And she had a one leg, her signature outfit, and even had colored nails. There was actually a FloJo doll. Did y'all know that? All right, create a great day on purpose.